Hello and welcome. Bonjour. Welcome to this Living and Working in France short presentation. My name is Meriem Dib Amour. I've been working at the French Public Employment Service as an advisor for candidates and for companies since 2017. I'm a French EURES advisor for 2 years now, and I am very glad to participate with other colleagues from many countries to this EURES event, Today's Dream, Tomorrow's Reality. For starter, in introduction, let's just say in few words that EURES France today is France Travail, our public employment service, but it is also our partners and members, the APEC, Association for Employment of Executives, and CEOPS Cap Emploi, precious guidance for job seekers with disabilities and employers. Through those three actors, French EURES advisors can offer you some guidance, and we'll be glad to answer your questions about our living and working conditions and French labor market. You can find our contacts, of course, on the EURES platform. Let's start now with some facts about our country. If we speak about France, we speak about the seventh economic power in the world in terms of GDP. One of its strengths is that it's sharing borders with actually 8 countries, counting the independent states of Andorre and Monaco. France shares indeed borders with Germany, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Belgium, Italy, and Spain. The country counts near 68 million inhabitants and much more visitors per year. As a matter of fact, it is the most visited country with famous visited places, Notre-Dame de Paris, the Louvre Museum, Versailles, and of course the Eiffel Tower. France received even more visitors in 2024 for the Olympic Games. It has an extensive rail network and high-speed trains. Our official language is French. Actually, even if an important part of the population speaks other languages, and you can find English jobs, for example, in the capital, French language comes really quickly necessary to learn when you settle in the country. Now, some fun facts about the country and to make some references to our European neighbor. French fries does not come from France, but from Belgium. The croissant has actually an Austrian origin since it has been introduced in France by the Austrian Marie Antoinette. And last fun fact, majority of French people does not eat frog legs or snails very often. So we mentioned earlier that the visitors from all over the world comes to enjoy our landscapes, our amusement and theme parks, our French gastronomy. Mentioning those points, you'll see how it can affect our economy and obviously our recruitment needs. So let's take a look now on our labor market. Here are the tendencies. You can see that Île-de-France, the region, where is the capital, Paris, is the first business region in Europe. It is the first European region for research in development. In the northeast, with Hauts-de-France, Grand Est, Bourgogne, so with the cities of Strasbourg, for example, and Lille, you have automotive manufacturing, gastronomy, chemistry. In the west part of the France, with Bretagne, Pays de la Loire, Centre-Val de Loire, you have agriculture, fishing, shipbuilding. In the southwest, with the city of Bordeaux, for example, and Toulouse, you have research and development, aeronautics. In the southeast, with Auvergne-Rhône-Alpes and the city of Lyon and Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur and Marseille, you have plastics, health, agri-food, research and innovation. And we don't forget our overseas department, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Guyane Française, et La Réunion, with a lot of tourism, agri-food, sustainable and renewable energies. Main part of our recruitment projects concern services to particular, as you see, and also business services, so services to companies and trades. And there is an expansion in 2024 of recruitment projects in financial and insurance activities. More precisely, the professions that recruit the most, you have cafe and restaurant waiters, you have kitchen helpers, restaurant employees, vineyard workers, arborists, pickers, agricultors and farmers. You see that the majority of those are hiring young people. However, those are shortages. So with the difficulties that companies have to recruit, we can suppose that they are open to various profiles if the skills matches the job, of course, and obviously, and with strong soft skills. We are also looking for cooks and caregivers. Those are surpluses. It doesn't mean that there is no opportunities, but just that there are fewer job offers, more competition, and you'll have probably to use the rules of the hidden market. Interesting fact and important here, there are a lot of opportunities thanks to small businesses. You know probably the names of big companies here in France, big labels and groups, but it's interesting to know that a majority of recruitment projects concern small companies. So you see that 43% of companies that recruit have 0 to 9 employees only. Let's move on now to our working conditions. The legal duration for working time in France is 35 hours per week. Just be careful of the regulation, sometimes according to the sectors. For example, in HoReCa sector, restoration, for example, restaurant, it can be 45 hours for cooks and more time for executives, for example. There is a minimum salary in France, like in other countries, and it is around 1,400 euros a month for a complete month, so 9.23 euros per hour. We call it, so it's the minimum wage. Be aware just that sometimes in the job vacancies, you can see the salary written in gross. You can see the salary per hour, but it's written in gross, so 11.65 euros per hour. About the holidays, well, we have 5 weeks holidays and 11 public holidays. The median salary, which means that 50% of working people in France receive less than 2,091 euros net per month. About the income taxes, well, it's been a few years now, we have a withholding tax, a certain percentage according to the salary and your personal situation. And we have another tax that is been withheld, and you have 23% of the gross income that goes for social benefits like social security, the retirement and unemployment. We can continue with working conditions. You have different types of contract in France. Like in other countries, you can find the permanent contract. You can find the fixed term contract for a specific duration, but it's never have to be more than 18 months. And you have the temping contract. It's similar to the CDD, to the fixed term contract, but with three parties involved. You have the employee, the employers, and the temping agency. And we have also other type of contract, of special contract or specific contract, intermittent, which means occasional. Those are specific short-term contract for artists and technicians. You have seasonal contract, mostly in agriculture and tourism. And you have apprenticeship also that you can know. It's part-time training and part-time time working. So now some tips about your tools for looking for a job, and specifically the CV. It is on your CV, it is important to identify immediately and in one look each of every section, including the one with your personal information. When the recruiter has your CV in his hands, he has to, in one look, as I said, to be able to identify and look for your skills, your personal information, your work experience, etc. Okay? The picture is really not mandatory, but it is honestly very welcome in some areas. In reality, if the candidate's photo looks the same as it will at the job interview, then it's a good idea to put the photo on your CV. A professional photo that resembles the real thing will help you stand out from the crowd and be remembered by the recruiter. If you choose to put a photo on your CV, you should always choose a professional photo, of course. You should avoid photos taken on non-professional social networks and opt for an outfit that matches the code of the environment in which you are applying. So to conclude about this topic, well, choosing to put your picture contains a risk, okay? So if it doesn't represent any advantage for the application, it's preferable to abstain. Don't forget to adapt your CV to the job offer and to the sector. Highlight the skills regarding the job you are applying for. Some other tips, important one. Well, the CV and the cover letter have to be personalized. Okay, it's important, as I said earlier, to adapt your skills to the job offers. Be careful highlighting your presentation. In some countries, especially English-speaking country, you can be used to highlight your presentation in the CV. Use power words in the introduction, for example. But the French CV does not present such strong words in his presentation. Okay, it's simply describing the skills and the arguments, of course, about it, and you'll have to argue in your presentation later or in the interview. You'll have to argue, of course, about your skills. Okay, in the presentation later, we call it more actually motivation letters, because you show that you are enthusiastic to join the team of this specific company. The resume is most of the time in one page long, and of course in French. Interviewed will be conducted in French, so a minimum of B2 level in French is advised. The diplomas are to be highlighted, and well, that's it, I think, for the main important tips for your tools. You can find many tools and digital tools on our website. You have francetravail.fr website. You have more than 1 million job offers. You have some labor market information. You have free services. You have Emploi Store, a specific service with digital tools and a lot of services dedicated to employment. You have the APEC website. You have, of course, the EURES platform, and you have KEOP's Cap Emploi website and platform. Our platform, francetravail.fr, is available to all. You can create an account even if you're not registered at the Public Employment Service, so you can benefit from its digital tools from everywhere you are. You can have information, as I say, adapted to the region, targeting regions and your sectors. Well, thank you for listening. I hope to hear about you very soon. Don't forget that you can find our contact on the EURES platform. That's it for me.